Good afternoon, everyone. Today we celebrate the Feast of Saint Bartholomew. He's one of the 12 apostles that Jesus called to send forth to preach the good news of salvation to all people. So nice to be with you this afternoon. A little warm today, huh? A little warm, but I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed your time away if you have been away this summer. I know it's kind of weird, isn't it, this summer? Especially in this pandemic from March until now, and how long will it be? We don't know. But we have strong faith that God will get us through this, don't we? So hang on to your faith. Hang on to your faith that God Himself will allow you to ride this storm. He is in the midst of all of it. And He's with you and He's with me during all of it. The church celebrates the feast of one of the apostles, as I said, Saint Bartholomew today, to understand really their role. One who is sent. That's what the word apostle means. One who is sent. Sent to proclaim the good news of salvation. I was telling the people at Mass today, when I think of those early apostles and even the early disciples, I think to myself, wow, they had to leave their former way of life and follow Jesus Christ. Their former way of life. And some of them were really ostracized from their family and community, their friends, as they followed Jesus. And I think to myself, wow, what about today? Are we willing to let things go to follow God, to follow our Lord in the gospel, to follow the church? Or do we still hold on I don't want to leave my former way of life? Or do we just let go so that we can let God in? The more that you hold, there's no way to grab His hands. You're holding on to the past. I want to stay with what I'm so familiar with. No, let go. No, I don't want to let go. You have to let go to let God. And that's very important. Are you willing to let go of things that are not of God's will? Are you willing to be sent on mission for God? Remember I talked about confirmation yesterday? And I said, we wore that beautiful white or red robe and we walked up the aisle and we were chrismated with holy chrism. We were a soldier of Christ. And then the bishop gave us a little tap on the cheek to tell us, come on, you have to be strong because there's a war out there. There is a battle out there, the battle of the enemy. And we face that enemy every day. And sometimes that enemy is within. You would think, oh, it's all the Protestants that are fighting the church. All the atheists that are fighting the church. Not necessarily. It's fellow Catholics. Don't attend Mass anymore. Never go to confession. Never got their marriage recognized as a sacrament by a priest or deacon. When their parents die, no funeral Mass. Never asking for a priest for the last rites. These are Catholics. These are Catholics who went to Catholic school. Oh, grade school, high school. But see, it's just an appearance. The inside is all decaying. That's tomorrow's gospel. So be attentive to tomorrow's gospel. Jesus speaks about that. But I want to tell you about the apostles being sent. Bartholomew was from Cana in Galilee. A nice place, Cana. I was there, I was there, and our group, we blessed those who have been married validly by the church. We blessed their union. Father Carey and I, he and I were on the trip together. In fact, his parish was hosting the trip, and the coordinator, her name is Mary Murphy, she said to Father Carey, why don't you ask Father Bellopede? This way you have a companion. And I was like, yeah, ask Father Bellopede. So he did, and I, of course, thought about it for a little bit because that would be 10 days away and going over to Israel. But I thought about it, prayed about it, and I said yes. So I had a wonderful time. I really did. I'm glad. Because it was educational, spiritual, and really social. It was all three that I enjoyed the trip to Israel. It benefited my own spiritual life. So I'm glad to share it with you. So anyway, as we celebrate this feast, I want to bring to your attention the need to be really a go-getter. Are you a go-getter? That means, do you take your faith seriously and make sure you promote it? Encourage people to attend Mass. When you buy gifts, do you buy Catholic gifts? Crucifix, statues, rosaries, medals? Or do you give them other things that maybe they don't necessarily need or want? Giving people religious gifts is a good practice to get into. Because many people will say to you, I don't have a crucifix in my house. This is the first one. And you may be shocked about that. Like, really? You don't even have one in your bedroom? No. We don't have a cross in our house. Well, I'm glad I bought it. So do things like that. So it's everyday evangelization. Everyday evangelization of bringing the good news to other people. You know, if someone is recently married validly, give them something that would be to a spiritual benefit for the couple. And if they're not, give them maybe a book or maybe a magazine that you could subscribe for them. See, here's a magazine. What do you think I get? The Priest. That's my magazine. Because you know what? It pertains to priestly life, and it pertains to some good articles that I read, and it's really nice. It keeps me updated, right? Well, I think everybody needs that in their life. Are you reading good books, good magazines to really help your Catholic life, to understand the Catholic life? All right? That's a responsibility that all of us have. So maybe you could be a go-getter and make sure you could go get these things and promote the Catholic life. It's like Saint Bartholomew did. Many people now are getting ready for school, and there are preschool children at home, and I know they're getting bored. I know you're trying to find things. In fact, one of our mothers emailed us and said, can you give me any suggestions really to help my preschool children to be more engaged? I mean, we watch Mass on television, or, I say television. We watch Mass on the internet at St. Mary's. I watch Father Bellopede's reflections, but I'm a mother of preschool children. Well, moms of preschool children, I think you're doing a fantastic job. First of all, let me say that. God bless you. And I think the whole world understands the immensity of your job. Sometimes we say to ourselves, I don't know how you do it. You take care of the kids, the house, your husband, and yourself. And you're trying to balance the physical, emotional, social, educational, and spiritual worlds into your family. That's not easy. And I say to you, I think that there should be a plan. You and your husband should devise a plan for the day. I'm a structured person. I like schedules and I like calendars. The staff will tell you that. I always say to them, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. And I say that because you know what? Because we talk all the time. Like, oh yeah, we have to do this, we have to do that. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. And I'm like one of those people that make sure that it's on the calendar, so when we all come to work in the morning, we know exactly what we have to do hour by hour. So moms, can I suggest that there be a schedule of the day, their prayer time, and there you can have prayer leaders, okay? And let a child just pray the way that child prays. So it doesn't have to be perfect. In God's eyes, it is. Maybe in your eyes it's not. In my eyes, it might not be the way that we would want it, but we have to allow them to grow into prayer. And the only way they're going to grow into the habit of prayer is putting it on the schedule and letting them pray what's in their heart. And then that could be developed as time goes along. There's time to play, there's times of prayer. I also think that they could also play and have an interaction of prayer of many facets of the spiritual life, of the Catholic faith. In other words, can we play in an educational way and in a spiritual way the Mass? Why not? Why not set up an altar? Why not teach as you're going along? This way they could follow the order of Mass. See, children love structure. They love order. And once you begin with the structure of Mass and setting it up for them, it might take a week of just talking about the items that are at Mass. The altar, the ambo, the tabernacle, the chair, the crucifix. It's important. The bread, the wine, the chalice, the vestments, and then explaining all of that. The books in which the lector reads, the book in which the priest reads from to celebrate Mass. All of that takes time of building. And maybe for preschool children, what is it? 3 to 5 minutes? And then you have to go on to the next thing? Okay, well, there you have a whole year. By the time you're done, it's going to be a year. I mean, I've been doing these afternoon reflections, and it takes you a while to get through everything you want to get through, because there's so much to talk about. So that, Mass, how about the sacraments? Have you ever done a mock baptism? You know, teaching the babies, well, your babies, teaching the preschool children, what baptism is, the meaning of baptism. Ask them questions. Then go back to it. Review. I'm a firm believer in repetition is the mother of learning. So I'll do something, then I'll say another thing, then I'll go back. So when I bring the second graders into church, when I bring the first graders into church, when I bring the kindergarten kids into church, and we go over baptism, you know I don't go through the whole rite. That's ridiculous. They're like, no, it's just, you just do a little snippet. Stop. Ask them a question. They'll go off. My aunt was baptized. My cousin lives in Florida. They'll go off. And then you give them back. You know this as moms. You bring them back to the center. Then you do a little another snippet. Then you go back. And then you do something. And then you go back. And then go back again. You keep on going back. Now for you may think, oh, no. For them, they need that. So the Mass, the sacraments. And you talk about the priesthood. Who is the priest? You talk about Jesus. You talk about Mary. You talk about the apostles. How many were there? Who were the apostles? That takes time. So what I'm telling moms today is that just at home, like in school, you have time for prayer time, snack time, or breakfast time, then religion, and then a little bit of math, and then a break time, a little bit of a snack, and then you do something else. And you incorporate all of this stuff to God. Like I said, even science, like the stars and the moon and the planets, who made all that? God did. And just begin to teach, their colors. How about the rosary? Are they able to pray the rosary together and talk about the rosary? See, if we do all of these things little by little during the course of the day, they're really begin to say, oh, we have to talk about the Mass again. Remember? We talked about that yesterday. And then you let them tell you. See, kids love that. You know that. They love to teach. When I go into the classroom, I'll say, boys and girls, can you tell me something? Because I'm forgetting this. And I let them feel that they're contributing to helping me understand something. Boys and girls, I forget about who baptized Jesus? John the Baptist. I said, oh, that's right. John the Baptist. I'll say to them, boys and girls, did Jesus need to be baptized? And I'll ask them all these questions, and then we'll sit and talk about it. Like, why was he baptized? And why are we baptized? What happened that we had to be baptized? So it goes into all of those things. And you could at home, you could make things or use things at home that would really coincide with your lesson or your playtime. I think that's all very good. So there's a lot of things. There's also a time for, reading maybe a page of a nice book or 2 pages of a book about a particular part of our faith that you would like to teach the children. I think that's very important. So there's a lot of nice ideas out there. Be as creative as you want to be, and you know your children better than I do as far as where their interests lie. Okay? I think that's wonderful. Well, next week we're beginning to open our school. So this morning we just sent out the plan, the COVID plan. We're going in person. We're opening St. Mary Catholic School. We're opening our 59th academic year. This is our 59th school year at St. Mary's. So this 59th year, there's a absolute plan, an overview plan, and a section by section. It's very well done. Mr. Phil Repko just sent it out to the parents on option C, and I just read it. So it's beautiful. It's really, really nice. Very well done. And the school looks beautiful. It's 99% done. So we have a couple odds and ends. And we're ready. We're going to be meeting with the teachers on Thursday for their faculty day. Every year before we open, we have a teacher's faculty day. It's really called organizational day. And then the principal gives them really the overview of the school year. And then the parish staff meets the faculty for lunch, and then each of us have a snippet to tell the faculty and the principal from the parish's perspective. So it's kind of really neat and nice. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy of all the hard work that's going into it. So our Agnus Dei Academy is opening. Our Catholic school is opening from K to 8. And we have an outdoor classroom. And we have so many things going for us that we're truly blessed. So, if by any chance you're looking for a Catholic school for your grandchild, your neighbor's grandchild, your friends, why don't you have them call our school and ask for Suzette Moyer to give them a tour. We'll take you around. We'll explain different things to you about how we're opening in person and how enriching and how blessed we are at our Catholic school. So I think it's really good. And Catholic schools, like the Apostle Bartholomew, their mission is all about being called and sending our students out into a world to proclaim the good news, right? So, like Bartholomew and all the other apostles, the main mission is to be taught by Christ and then sent. The main mission of Catholic school is to be taught by Christ and to be sent. Sent into this world to proclaim the good news of salvation, but first to welcome Christ in, not to let go, so Christ can be welcomed in, and to invite him into your heart and your soul, to receive the sacraments, to know him, to love him, so that you can be happy with him not only in this world, but in the next. God bless you, everyone. Have a wonderful feast day of Saint Bartholomew, Apostle.